श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवदीप धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, द्वारका धाम की जय, स्वामी भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू देयर, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू देयर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Hare Krishna, Shisalika. We're going to continue playing Bhajan for some time. Then.
Dharma Lokanam Karinam Bhuvane Mandam Saranam विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं श्री चैतन्य कृपा बरौ लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणं
and some were yogis, and they were all Mayavadis. And they were clever. They didn't explain the whole rest of the Indian culture at all. They were what's called Panchupasaka. Bhakti is only a artificial practice that you do until you merge. And there were some Buddhists also. I remember one Buddhist came through, and there was macrobiotic restaurant. And he said, I eat everything. You know, what do you mean Zen food? So there were a lot of phonies, and they had the squinty eyes, you know. And a lot of people went for that. There was Dr. Mishra. My father had read Dr. Mishra's book. And in my house, we did yoga, and there was Bhagavad Gita, and all interpreted Mayavad way. My best one was the Theosophical Society Bhagavad Gita, and that had a picture of an abbreviated universal form of Krishna, which the verse said, and I hold all these worlds like pearls on a thread, with a fraction of myself, something like that verse from the 9th chapter, I believe. And so then I heard someone said that, and we were exploring with, we were experimenting with drugs. Some people were just partying with drugs, but many were using it to assume, because the description of the symptoms of a drug are similar to the external symptoms of a liberated soul. You see things as equal. You have universal consciousness, cosmic consciousness. These were words that we were trying to achieve, and we all thought that you meditate, and then one day, bing, the light goes on, and you walk around high. You know, we visited several Swamis. Ramakrishna Mission had a place in 72nd Street, 75th Street, and people had all kinds of crazy ideas, and we had no direction. None of the yogis gave any sadhana. They ate meat. Swami Nikalananda was translated the Gita also. He smoked. None of them, just do whatever you want. Jatamat tatapat. So then someone told me, there's a Swami on 2nd Avenue chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I said, I never heard of that, but then I went one night, and there was the 26th 2nd Avenue storefront, and I peeked in, and I asked a couple standing there who were looking in, I said, is this 26th 2nd Avenue? And they said, Pilgrim, your search has ended. So it was a sign. And I went in, sat down, we were chanting. I sit in my lotus position. I thought I would meet the Swami, and Prabhupada, I always say, looked like the CEO of the universe. I never saw anyone. I was sitting right on the ground, on the floor, plain saffron robes, and was chanting. Then he gave lecture on Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tatpadatvena Nirmalam. Giving up all false designations is the cure for human society. And then kept coming a few times, and went up and asked Prabhupada all the Mayavadi arguments, and he blasted me back one by one. It's in the book. And what I wanted to, about the book, I wanted to write not just about Prabhupada's just physical character, but his philosophy, his teachings. That this is our gift. This is our gift. Either the two, the Eastern is everything merge into void. That answers so many problems. The Western religion, God, like George Carlin says, there's an invisible man up in the sky, and he's got 10 rules. And if you don't obey them, you go to hell where you burn forever. And he always needs money. He's all powerful, all knowledgeable, but he just can't handle money.
But he loves you. You know you're going to go to hell.
But he loves you. Why? Because he loves us. So these two things, one personal God and then one completely impersonal. So we tended towards the impersonal God because there are no rules. Some of the arguments that we all presented were, if God is unlimited, how can he have a form? Form is limited. And right away he would just cut through. He didn't care about being flattering at all. He'd just say, this is lack of knowledge. This is ignorance. Well, we'd say, well, in your religion, you say God is a... This is not religion. This is knowledge. And he would make many, many comparisons to the sun. Just like the sun has form, yes. And the sunlight is unlimited, yes. That two exist simultaneously. This is our gift, inconceivably. A spark of sun cannot become the sun planet. A light bulb cannot become the powerhouse. Yes? Yet? That's it. Similarly, if there's magnifying glass, you can make fire, bring down the sun. Then you can, so blazing sadhus. So you can become, this is a guru, and also with Bhaktisiddhanta's term, the guru is the transparent via media through. So Krishna is talking through an empowered soul. Kirtananda and I were the cooks. And this leads into a great story. So he taught us one after another preparation. And especially, it's pronounced chonk in America because we'd spell it different ways. We'd say chaunts sometimes. So we didn't know how to say it then either, but it's actually chonk. And it would smell up and the neighbors would complain, the landlord complained. But you want to get it smoking. And then you put it in your vegetables or you drop it in the dal. And we're cooking breakfast, a big pot of cereal, and then lunch. And then you could never tell what Prabhupada was going to do next. This comes from when I read the Nectar of Devotion. It says one of Krishna's qualities is he's gravity. And I thought gravity means serious. Krishna is not so serious. And then I look back down at the page and it says, gravity is one, you never know what he is thinking. So one day Prabhupada says to me and Kirtananda, we should have a Sunday feast. And invite the yoga schools and the people, which leads into another story to remind me of getting the signboard. So he told Brahmananda, we must have one signboard with changeable letters so we can tell people the times of the classes. And Brahmananda comes back an hour later with no signboards. He says, Swamiji, the signboards cost $55. We don't have money for rent. He says, get one signboard. So he comes back with that black signboard with the movable white plastic letters. And that night, 75 people showed up. I passed my basket was full of money. So, but Prabhupada earlier that day comes up to the kitchen. He says, let me see what you have. And I opened the pantry. This is just an apartment kitchen with 4 burners, a refrigerator, but we had a big pantry closet there. That was good. So I said, we have 100 pounds of sugar, 100 pounds of potatoes, 100 pounds of flour, 100 pounds of rice, 100 pounds of brown rice for the health people, 100 pounds of this. And you couldn't tell what he meant. See, I didn't know. That night, the crowd were packed into the storefront, and Prabhupada's lecturing on Jejatamang prapadyante tangstata. No, he's yoga kshemam vyahamaham. I carry what you lack and take away what you don't need. And then he said to me, in our kitchen we have 100-pound rice, 100-pound sugar, 100-pound potato, 100-pound, everything, 100 pounds. And we are just chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You karmis, you're working so hard in your office job. Do you have 100-pound sugar? You don't have 100-pound anything, he said. Then me and Kirtananda looked at each other. That's why he came up to inspect the kitchen. Many things would happen. We say, oh, we have to get a machine. We have to get this. We have to fix the machine. And we'd say, you have this disease. And he gave the story. Once there was a big storm and a fisherman came to a man's house. Let me in, it's storming. And the householder opened and says, you can stay here, but that net and that basket, it stinks. You have to leave it outside. You can come in, come in. In the middle of the night, the fisherman is pacing up and down. And the man says, why can't you sleep? He says, I have to have that smell. I Okay, the storm is over, go take your smelly bath. He said, just like that, you Americans, you think you have to have anything, you have to have a machine. And there was a big jug of water that couldn't stand up. The president said, give me that cloth. And he rolled it up, made a donut, put it down, and set the pot stable. Says, you do not have this kind of intelligence. Everything you must have machine. But it gave so many examples. And to jump ahead, when we were starting the Vrindavan Krishna Balaram temple, I was talking to Guru Das, and I said, what if we put our power and all this money into acquiring Radha Damodar temple and have something small in Ramanreti? He said, yeah, let's ask Prabhupada. And we said, what if we get Radha Damodar and have something small in Ramanreti? And Prabhupada said, I cannot think of anything small. That is my disease. Everything big. Even when I was a manager for Dr. Bosch's laboratory, and my plans were bigger than he could supply. And many people ask me, I just came from Atlanta, Panihati, how can I please Prabhupada? I don't know specifically, but Prabhupada liked big. See, do something big and important. He said there are rituals and functions and procedures, but main thing is to offer with your love. And the first mantra he only gave us was Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama. He said, offer with that. Then one time, a box came with Jagannath Murti, and we didn't know what to think of this. This abstract art masterpiece. And Prabhupada said, everyone bow down. He said, this is Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. And later on he told Bon Maharaj's godbrother, I've given them Jagannath because Jagannath does not have strict archanam. It's not so, it's having a full murti. But we had the painting, Jadharani was painting. So now she's become a fine artist. Her first paintings look like cartoons. Big, big fingers. A lot of devotees from Christian background say, how did Lord Chaitanya die? How did Krishna die? And Prabhupada put on such a bitter face. And it is not important. It is so distasteful. We cannot. He went into a temple and never. But the main thing is that Jesus' death is the culmination of his lila, his purpose, his mission. But Lord Chaitanya Krishna's purpose is not dying. But when he first suggested the deities, I remember Hayagriva said, oh, you want marble statues? You can go to the Catholic Church. And Prabhupada also just, now I think back, they are not ready, So he kept Hare Krishna Mahamantra big in temples, not so much temple. One time it's mentioned that I told Prabhupada he liked it, that I was in Vrindavan and there was an Akhandananda Swami and Mayavadi, big, he was formless. Yeah, good for a Mayavadi. He was huge, Baba, pure Shankara Mayavadi. And a gentleman in Vrindavan asked me to come and meet him. He's here. I don't know why they have temples in Vrindavan to make Krishna disappear. I don't know. And I came there first, and his followers were looking at me going, Namo Narayan, Namo, they call each other Narayan. I was looking at do I look like Narayan? Do I have 4 arms? They actually say that. Daridra Narayan, the poor. So I was telling this to Prabhupada on the morning walk. I think it was in the Maidan, the Calcutta. I said, and then this householder, Akhandananda looked at me and he goes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he said, and I felt like everybody in the world chant Hare Krishna, but not you. Don't say, it was so disrespectful. And then the man said, try to ask some question. I said, I have no question. No, try to ask some question. I have no question. Because I know if I ask a question, he's going to talk Mayavad. And then later Prabhupada thought that was very strong move that, oh, he must have been very insulted that you didn't. I said, I don't care. Prabhupada appreciated that. That happened on a morning walk. Prabhupada went back to America from Calcutta, going over the Pacific Way, and left me with the keys to Radha Damodar Temple. And it got kind of lonely there, and most people didn't speak English. And but Prabhupada's godbrother Bon Maharaj was there, and he spoke English. He didn't lecture so much. And one day there was an American there, Rishikesh, who had been initiated in America, and he had escaped or deserted the army. He had been through boot camp. And he told me the same things. If you've seen the movie Full Metal Jacket, he said, they make you sleep with your gun. You got to give the gun a girl's name. And there was a fat guy who died. They were making him run. The same scene as in the movie 20 years later. So he had been through that kind of hellish thing. And it was from Germany, I found out later. From Germany, some lieutenant said, kid, you're not going to make it. And he told him how to get out. So he made it to India. And Bon Maharaj, I believe, kind of lied to him. Said, if you stay with me, you'll be protected. And if you leave, then I'll turn you in, almost. But what Rishikesh didn't know was that the Indian government would accept and give asylum to anybody who was legally or in legal difficulties. You become kind of a hostage like that for them. And then that means the other country's government has to be nice to Indian citizens. So Rishikesh didn't know that. So I was going to Bon Maharaj. Bon Maharaj was teaching really Siddha Pranali, giving Rishikesh this idea of the eternal identity at the first initiation. He was talking more about this and other things. He was disrespecting Narayan, not understanding the tattva between Narayan Krishna and Goloka Krishna, Vaikuntha, etc. And later on, though, I found out he had sent Rishikesh to collect money for Bon Maharaj's school. So then Rishikesh got the letter. Prabhupada wrote to Rishikesh that if you stay there, it is your spiritual death. And there's more to that letter, very, very harsh words he used. And so you and Achyutananda go to Mayapur with Achyutananda, and the only person I consider dependable is my godbrother Sridhar, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. Achyutananda knows him well. We went to his Vyas Puja last year, and there's a room there in the house. So Rishikesh didn't go, and I said, now's my chance, okay, to go to be with Sridhar Maharaj. And that was around 1968. The spiritual master, this is a supernatural quality that his genuine spiritual master has. That when he speaks, everyone will hear it in their own way. So whatever rasa you are, you will pick up on that and take to it. And that is to be realized later. It was a tradition and a system of giving Siddha Pranali at the initiation up to Bhaktisiddhanta. But those disciples that came to the six Goswamis and Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Baladev, Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur were already very, very advanced Vaishnavas. Or very, very advanced, maybe even very advanced Mayavadis, but then immediately understanding the position of Krishna Tattva, Bhagavad Tattva, all of their study up till then fell into place, connected the dots. Then a guru can tell you that you seem to have a dasya, sakya, vatsalya, madhurya, rasa, and give you an identity. Bhaktisiddhanta, by that time of Kali Yuga's onset, he did not give it that way. You are a servant, and you're with your practice and sadhana, it will be revealed to you. But when I asked Sridhar Maharaj, can you tell me my Guru Maharaj's rasa? He said, yes, I can tell you, but now I'm feeling a little weak now, and he made me wait a whole day, and the next day I came to him and he started lecturing me and teaching. I said, but you were going to tell me Prabhupada's rasa. Oh, yes, yes. It must be Madhurya because of his attraction to kirtan. Madhurya has two aspects, Madhurya sweetness and Audarya compassion. Radharani is the leader of the Madhurya Shakti, Haladini Shakti, and she's always engaging, yuktos tata bhavayateva said, always engaging other gopis to join in the Ras Leela in all of the seva. And as Mahaprabhu, as kirtan. Now I just heard last year there's a Mahant of Radha Kund in India, and this was established by Jiva Goswami. Raghunath and Jiva Goswami established that they, actually Jiva Goswami purchased the property, the land of Radhakund, Shamkund, and 150 cottages, kutis around. The rent from that would all support the puja of Radhakund. That's the way you set up a temple for in perpetuity, is that there's properties that pay rent. Boom, you're fixed, set for life, forever. Well, they was taken over by families and then Babajis and pseudo Babajis. In 1880, Bhaktivinoda Thakur met Jagannath Das Babaji in Vrindavan. Somewhere between 1880, and he was about 100 years old, Jagannath Das Babaji, and was well known, except that this is a Maha Bhagavat Purush. And somewhere after that, in the 1880s, Jagannath Das Babaji finally opened up and in public in Surya Kunj said to the Mahant, you are keeping women, I know it, and you've been doing it, and I'm leaving. I'm going to set up in Navadvip. This is as big as like the Pope.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Haribol. Hare Krishna, you are.
Haribol. I'm sorry, I came here. Somebody was giving class. I didn't know what to do.
Oh, I didn't know you came in. I'm sorry.
Okay. Wow, so late. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to put the verse on the screen, and then we may start.
My internet is not working properly, okay? So let's pray that everything will be okay.
All right. All right.
Okay. Let's go direct to the verse.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:11-35. Sa Esha Nara Lokesmin Avatirna Swamayaya Remestri Ratna Katasto Bhagavan Prakrito Yata. Saha, he, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Esha, all this. Naraloke, on this planet of human beings, Asmin, on this, Avartrina, having appeared. Swa, personal, internal. Mayaya, causeless mercy. Reme, enjoyed. Rame. Sri Ratna, woman who is competent to become a wife of the Lord. Kutasto, among. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, prakrita, mundane, yata, as if it were. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appears on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane affairs. Purports given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
The Lord married and lived like a householder. This is certainly like a mundane affair, but when we learn that he married 1,608 wives and lived with them separately in each and every palace, certainly it is not mundane. Therefore, the Lord, living as a householder amongst his competent wives, is never mundane, and his behavior with them is never to be understood as mundane sex relations. The women who became the wives of the Lord are certainly not ordinary women, because to get the Lord as one's husband is the result of many, many millions of births. Tapasya, austerity. When the Lord appears on different locusts or planets, or on these planets of human beings, he displays his transcendental pastimes just to attract the conditioned souls to become his eternal servitors, friends, parents, and lovers, respectively, in the transcendental world, where the Lord eternally reciprocates such exchanges as service. Service is perverted by represented in the material world and broken, ultimately resulting in sad experience. The illusion living being conditioned by material nature cannot understand out of ignorance that all our relations here in the mundane world are temporary and full of inebrities. Such relations cannot help us be happy perpetually, but if the same relation is established with the Lord, then we are transferred to the transcendental world after leaving this material body and become eternally related with him in the relation we desire. The women amongst whom he lived as their husband are not therefore women of this mundane world, but are eternally related with him as transcendental wives, a position which they attained by perfection of devotional service. That's their competency. The Lord is Param Brahma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Conditioned souls seek after perpetual happiness in all places, not only on this earth, but also on other planets throughout the universe. Because constitutionally, a spiritual spark, as he is, can travel to any part of God's creation, but being conditioned by the material modes, he tries to travel in space by spacecraft and so fails to reach his destination. The law of gravitation is binding upon him like the shackles of a prisoner. By other processes, he can reach anywhere, but even if he reaches the highest planet, he cannot attain that perpetual happiness for which he is searching life after life. When he comes to his senses, however, he seeks after Brahman happiness, knowing it for certain that unlimited happiness which he is seeking is never attainable in the material world. As such, the Supreme Being, Parabrahman, certainly does not seek happiness anywhere in the material world, nor can his paraphernalia or happiness be found in the material world. He is not impersonal, because he is the leader and supreme being amongst innumerable living beings. He cannot be impersonal. He is exactly like us, and he has all the propensities of an individual living being in fullness. He marries exactly like us, but his marriage is never mundane nor limited by our experience in the conditioned state. His wives, therefore, appear like mundane women, but factually they are all transcendental liberated souls, perfect manifestations of internal energy. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyanam Janam Shalakaya Chakshuru Militan Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtan Stapitan Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasili Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Verse is that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane affairs. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not in the studio. I am in a Rishikesh in Himalayas, and this is a hotel room. So sorry for the lack of good arrangements. And my internet is also not so good, but I hope we can finalize the class. So the verse is amazing. Prabhupada's purport is just like nectar. It's so perfect. It's so incredible. This is very rare that finds such acharya or Prabhupada's class, Prabhupada's purport and books. They are the best in spiritual, for spiritual understanding, how he can explain Krishna's activities and which appear to be material or mundane. And in India, they think about that like, you know, they think anything about Radha Krishna Lila or Krishna 16,108 wives. Yeah, they most of the people, they don't understand Krishna's transcendental birth activities, devotees, what is really happening. They really don't know. They're completely out. Mostly is a secret. They don't understand Krishna Lila. They don't know about what's really behind that Krishna is God. And in the verse is telling, by his spiritual potency, everything is arranged by Purnamasi. Everything is arranged by her touch. Krishna gives her the power to arrange everything, to put everybody in the transcendental illusion, even Krishna himself. Not illusion like us, but he really feels and thinks that's all real and of everything what is happening. And this is made by Purnamasi. This is made by the internal potency. And Prabhupada is telling that this is, what's the objective of these leelas? Is to call out the conditioned souls to again join Krishna in the spiritual world and leave this world of suffering. Like he comes and he says, this is me and this is how we live, but now you are in forgetfulness. So how somebody that's not a devotee can understand that God has such power and such mercy and he's so renounced? Only a devotee of the Lord, a real devotee, can present the transcendental nature of Krishna's qualities, his feelings, and his devotees and his leelas. So that's Prabhupada's position. He is presenting who is God. And this is very rare. This is very rare. So these people, all these yogis, Mayavadis, blah, blah, many of them, they don't know that. So they say many things about so many incarnations, so many energies, this person, that person, that person. Why? Because they have no access to Krishna Lila. They have no access to Krishna Lila. Krishna Lila is very, very deep and very, very special and unique, and not anyone can explain. Not anyone is inside the Lila, and not to anyone is revealed who Krishna is. Krishna says, only by love, real love, you can understand who am I. So this is not for everyone to understand who is Krishna. And then if you tell, you come, like I'm here in the Himalayas, in Rishikesh, and there are so many yogis and matas and, you know, great personalities. They did so much tapasya in some places. There are so many, but they have no access exactly who is God, his energies, how they're working, how they're interacting. They have no access to that information. That information is very rare. So Prabhupada, he has access to that information, to that knowledge, to the spiritual world. Prabhupada, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, the Parampara. This Parampara is very rare. And you can go to other places and, you know, see their books and, you know, and you see that Srimad Bhagavatam is superior. Prabhupada's explanation, the profound Prabhupada's explanations, they're very, very deep. They're different, they're unique. Only Prabhupada can go so far, can go so deep. He can give proper explanation about everything what's happening. So this is not a competition, but, you know, this is a glorification that what we are getting from Prabhupada is real. Especially in this purport, there are so many things that Prabhupada is saying, Krishna does this, Krishna acts the same as we act. He marries too, he has the same, but in the conditioned state, in transcendentally done, transcendentalism, and the conditioned state, they're different. They are under different energy. It's not difficult to understand the energy. Not so difficult. Energy is around us right now. For example, I give you a very simple example, very nowadays example, what is happening in the world right now, and then also the Brahminical qualities, honesty, you know, virtues, all these things, goodness, is very rare to find. But you can think it could be different, isn't it? Why this is happening this way? It could be different, isn't it? Why it is happening to put us down all the time? Why we feel around us that bad energy is winning? What is bad is winning. Why we feel like that? Why around us the good is not winning? It's called energy. And what kind of energy is this energy? Kali's energy, isn't it? You go to a place and then it is very clean. It's spreading some kind of energy. You go to a place and then it's very dirty. And then this is spreading another kind of energy. Different places, different activities, they have different energies. Tamagun, Rajagun, goodness. You go to Vrindavan, you come to Mayapur, you go to the temple, there's some energies there, isn't it? You chant your rounds, you have some energy. You don't chant your rounds, you don't have this energy. Energy changes all the time. We feel energy around us. So the same way, this is very small, isn't it? In a gross. But then you can imagine Krishna's energy, how subtle, how deep is this? Hladini Shakti, Purnamasi Shakti, of creating leelas, where everybody's enjoying. For example, the wives, Krishna's wives, they're not conscious all the time that Krishna is God. No, he's my husband. So this is kind of illusion, isn't it? And it's made by Purnamasi. So this is the way to understand Krishna Lila. What Purnamasi is doing in Vrindavan with Radharani's husband. Radharani is married, and then she makes the arrangement that Radharani's chastity is preserved. Meanwhile, she has a relationship with Krishna. And why this is happening? Why? Krishna needs this kind of affair. Is he in need? Radharani and Gopis, they are mundane women. So those who don't know Krishna, didn't understand Krishna, they think like that, isn't it? That Krishna needs that, or he is like any other man in the material world, Radharani, any other woman in the material world. But it's not like that. The conditioned souls, they have desires. The conditioned souls, they have desires. And Krishna is satisfying their desires, their different desires. This is called Lila. This just for Krishna. He wants to please the conditioned souls because he loves us too. So he satisfied the conditioned souls in their desires. Okay? So the gopis, they desired to have Krishna as lovers. But when they desire, the other lives they desire. The Vedas personified, they offered prayers to Krishna. The amazing prayers that is in Bhagavatam, prayers of the Vedas personified. They offered those incredible prayers, so beautiful. You can go there and read. It's so beautiful. Then Krishna says, I'm so happy with this. Amazing. I loved it. Please ask me whatever you want. Krishna says to the Vedas personified. And then they said, we want to be born as gopis in Vrindavan and be your lovers. And Krishna says, what? Okay, I don't give this to everyone, but because I loved what you did, so be it. And then some of the gopis born as Vedas personified. So then other souls, they're born as wives with big palaces, you know, in Dwaraka. This is the conditioned souls. They desire that, and they focus on that, and they meditate on that, and then Krishna inside their hearts satisfy their desires. So Prabhupada is explaining There's nothing to do with mundane affairs that a conditioned soul, what's the name? Controlled by karma. Never, ever we born in Krishna Lila. You should be pure to be born in Krishna Lila and participate with Krishna. So there is nothing mundane in Krishna in his relationships. And if your mind, doubts, and then you can say, okay, my mind, you think you are very intelligent, more than Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur, more than Bhaktivinoda Thakur, more than Ramanujacharya, more than Narada Muni. Who are you? So instead of believing in you or believing in any other Mayavadi, I will believe in the Acharyas. That choice you have to make. To whom to believe? Prabhupada, not only Prabhupada, Ramanujacharya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Saraswati, 6 Goswamis. Who else you want? Name it. Isn't it? So you don't have to have blind faith. You always can questioning. And the acharyas, they have answers for your questions, for our questions. But we just have to be sincere in cultivating spiritual knowledge, step by step, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And this will be revealed. What's happening there in Krishna Lila? How it's happening? Why it's happening? Okay? So, do you have any questions? Please post your questions here if you have any question or comments. And I think it's enough. What else can I say?
Hare Krishna.
I give the word to you guys.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mother.
Thanks to you.
I'm sorry I saw the Versus studio. I didn't realize that was you. So yeah, I was looking to see your name, and then I saw Versus studio. I didn't think that was you.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
Sorry. My
No, it's
fault
okay.
for
It's
this
okay.
misunderstanding. I brought this misunderstanding. So sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay. So, dear devotees, whoever has a question may use the hand emoji and ask your question. And Mother is so kind. She's also added comments. Whoever has comments, that's also welcome. Hare Krishna. Well, Mother, I have one quick question. My question is, how do we know that a particular pastime Krishna performed was meant for us as human beings to follow, and then others that are not meant for us to follow? For example, I asked this question. You also touched on it a little bit, that in the Madhurya Ras, there are 2 aspects. There are those who are wedded wives to Krishna, and then we have those that are not wedded wives. Like Radharani is not a wedded wife. It's like a paramour. And then we have somebody like Jambavati or Rukmini, who are wedded wives of Krishna. So, as devotees, we cannot do that. We cannot have wedded wives and have paramour. So, how do we know which pastime is good for us to emulate, and those that are not meant for us, just Krishna enjoying himself? Hare Krishna, I hope you're still there.
Oh, I am here. It's because I
Okay.
have to. My phone is not working properly, so I have
Okay.
some difficulty
All
here.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
not in the studio, so this is studio is good. Huh?
Okay.
Prabhu, you were telling me that a person cannot meditate or desire to be. What's your question
No,
exactly?
my question is, Krishna has lots of pastimes. Now, how do we know as aspirants that what Krishna is doing is something he's doing to teach us how to live our lives? But there are some pastimes, some activities Krishna performed that are not meant for us as ordinary human beings. How do we know? How do we know which is for us, which is not for us?
Okay. Okay, very good question, Prabhu. In any pastime, as far as I understood by Shastra, we cannot imitate the Lord in anything. Prabhupada said in this same canto, Prabhupada is telling that some of Krishna's activities we can be inspired, not imitate, by inspired. That even Krishna was chanting Gayatri, so you also chant. Even Krishna was taking bath in the morning, so you also do. You understand? But Prabhupada is telling that other pastimes we should not try to imitate. Of course, like if you think you can have 16,000 wives, so please also, what's the name? Lift. You can also, please, Govardhan Mountain, Govardhan Hill, both is there. So you want to imitate only the match of wives that he has, but you cannot lift Govardhan Hill. So both is there. It's just a question of how can I say? A question of study, and we think more. A devotee should think more about what the guru is telling him to do, instead of thinking about which pastime Krishna is doing that inspire me, which is not, should I follow, blah, blah, blah. Devotee don't think like that, because his connection is with the spiritual master. And according to the Shastra, love the spiritual master and follow the spiritual master is same as love and follow Krishna. Same. So devotee should never be confused by that. As much as you love and appreciate Prabhupada in your directly spiritual master, as much you love and appreciate Krishna. So this love, they grow. They're the same. They grow together. As much you understand the love and activities of the Guru, as much you understand Krishna. So this is something that will be revealed in your heart. What Krishna is trying to say or do will be revealed in your heart by the mercy of the spiritual master. This is what will happen. Exactly what will happen. You know, Bhakti Purushottam Swami, he explained that very nicely. He said that the energy of serving Krishna, Hladini Shakti, comes from Shrimati Radharani. And then he said, who has this energy? Guru. Guru has this energy. And then Guru is the possessor of this energy. And when the Guru is pleased with you, he gives this energy to you. And then you experience the happiness of service. and then you become attached to serve, and at the same time you become detached of be served or enjoy the material nature. Slowly, because of the mercy of the Guru, you don't feel, you are not attracted, or the meaning of material enjoyment doesn't make sense for you. You are happy by wake up in the morning, have your bait, eating only prasad, and chant your japa, and you are happy in devotees association, and you are happy by serving Krishna's mission given by the Guru. So this satisfaction is the mercy of the spiritual master. Otherwise, you just, oh, I'm not happy with that, let me do something else. That's normal. We always look for enjoyment. If you don't have enjoyment in this devotional service, for how long you will be faking your life? For how long? You cannot fake. For so many years, somebody can fake. So, and how this happiness comes from our hearts by connecting ourselves with Guru. What Guru wants from us, what he wants us to do. We have to connect that. No, I'm doing devotional service my only way, the way I like, the way my mind is telling. No, but there are seniors, there are leaders, there are sannyasis, there are gurus. You connect and you see if they are happy with you, if you have their blessings. Then if they are happy with you, it means Krishna is happy with you. Okay? I'm not talking about manipulative, narcissist, or abusive authorities. I'm talking about real devotees, servants of the Lord, that we should be connected, we should respect them, and we should review our mind to them, and then see if they can guide us to Krishna. Okay?
Well, thank you so much for the answer, but that also leads me to a question from the answer you gave, because Srila Prabhupada said that the Guru is God. And again, he said the Guru is like God. Now, if I take the Guru is God, that means that whatever the Guru says, I have to follow, because that is God speaking. Now, if I take the part that says the Guru is like God, that means that the Guru is not God, but he is just like God. And therefore, the Guru might be doing or saying something that is not in line with Krishna. And it's happened in all religions. It does happen. So I think you did touch on it a little bit when you said that you're talking about a real Guru, not politics, position, things like that.
Just a second. Prabhupada answered your question in Science of Self-Realization. Prabhupada, somebody said, what about fake gurus? Prabhupada said, there are no fake gurus, because those who are fake, they're not gurus. That's the point. You understand? So immediately when somebody is breaking principles or cheating, they're not gurus anymore. They have no connection with spiritual energy. You understand? So whatever they're saying, there's no value. It should be very clear. It should be very clear. So we should ourselves advance spiritually all the time. So we will be able to identify when somebody is bona fide and when somebody is not bona fide. But for that, we should ourselves practice. So then we always will be protected and we will not be cheated. Of course, we know there are so many gurus. There are many gurus in ISKCON. They got problems. They got in trouble. After some time, they got in trouble. When they were doing fine and correct, they were empowered. And when they started to break the principles and do something wrong, they were not in line anymore. But we always have Prabhupada. You know, Japataka Swami says? Japataka Swami said that you look in front of you, the seniors, your spiritual master, to get inspired. But if they are not there, or if they are not inspiring you, he said, look behind to be inspired. That's Japataka Swami. Look behind. And you know, when we look behind, I'm telling you, you have a lot to be inspired from. Narada Muni, the Gopis, 6 Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. If we can meditate on character and activities of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he was doing things. You know, one day I was talking to some friends about the glories of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how powerful he was, the decisions he made. This is India, you know. I'm in India. This is India. And India is very tricky, very problematic in so many respects. You understand? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Saraswati, they overcame all Indian problems and they established the Sankirtan movement. Do you think it's easy?
No, not at all.
33 million demigods. You understand? So Prabhupada said, in each corner of Mumbai, there is a God incarnation. What does it mean? So much cheating is going on. This God, that God, that God, that God, that God. And Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the 6 Goswamis, they overcame all those things and established Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. This is so glorious. This is so incredible. It inspired me so much. It can inspire everyone. So this is what Japataka Maharaj says. You look in front of you, there is nobody to inspire you. Look behind. He has experience. Japataka Swami. He's great. He has so much experience. You understand? So there are no reasons. And somebody fell down, what to do? Bharata Maharaj fell down. What to do? What can be done? Next life. We can happen with us too. What can be done? Life is eternal. Life goes on. You born again. You go to hell. You burn in hell. You come back. Blah, 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 blah. Same stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
okay.
Thank you for the answer. It's very easy. I wouldn't say very easy, but it's quite easy to for one to disassociate himself from somebody he was looking up to once the person starts deviating. But like you said, I know some gurus whom I still appreciate them. I still love them a lot. And they did so much when they were in good standing. And they had lots of amazing books. But now we do not have access to those books anymore. But like you were saying, before they fall down or whatever challenge the person had, whatever he did, whatever he said was very potent, was true, was powerful because it was connected. And so if that is the case, I do not see why we should not be using such books from such people, but we don't. I mean, that is kind of political. You don't need to get involved. It's just something I'm saying because
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I kind
Correct.
of I agree with what you were saying that before the person had whatever challenge he had, he was already in touch with Krishna. So whatever he wrote, whatever he said is potent. But well, I read such books though. I read from time to time because I get lots of inspiration from reading such books. But thank you for the answers.
Oh, exactly. You already you answered the question. Yes, exactly. And whatever politics they made is mundane.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with with knowledge. You know, like we have a society that should facilitate the cultivation of knowledge. For achieving self-realization, we have to cultivate knowledge in a satsanga. So the society is made for that, to cultivate knowledge in a satsanga. We have the duty, if you want self-realization, because we're not talking about society realization, we are talking about self-realization. So self-realization means yourself cultivate knowledge. And by being knowledgeable, we will have proper discrimination, what's wrong, what's right. So if in this lifetime we don't understand that, it will go on to other lifetimes, till we understand what we have to do. You understand? So the cultivation of knowledge will always help us, will always save us to be cheated by anybody inside our institution, outside our institution, because the institution we are in is very big and all kinds of people are there. So you have to discriminate to whom to associate, to whom to hear from. And how you will discriminate? By cultivation of knowledge. It will help us in any respect of life. So then we can continue our spiritual lives. You understand? This is what we should think and do, not being dragged by others to do their agenda, isn't it? I have a book, Mahanidhi Swami book. It was a compilation of all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructions on different subjects. Amazing book, very important book, fruit of so much research. And now Mahanidhi Swami is a Babaji in Radhakund, something personal that he decided. He is not fallen, but according to the society, institution, power, blah, blah, maybe he is not in, he cannot do this, cannot do that. And what it has to do with the research that he did? Nothing. Nothing to do, isn't it? So they take the
do you remember the
decisions.
title of the book?
Just a second. So they take the decisions that they want to take, and we as adults, we take the decision that we want to take. Prabhupada said, independent thoughtful. Independent thoughtful. Don't be dragged here and there by other people's agenda. We have an agenda. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. This is our agenda. Dehinos Minjata Dehe Komaran Jovananja Jara Tata Dehantara Praptir Dirastata Namuhati. This is our agenda. Ishwara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anandiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. This is our agenda. People have so many agenda. I want this money, I want this position, this blah, blah, so many agenda. Let them with their agenda. Let them go. People have choices in life. You get this much of money, you get a wife, you get kid, you get this chair position, you get this. And then in this, you will be able, you make decisions. And then the decisions you make will give you hell or heaven or spiritual world or Goloka Vrindavana. That's your individual decision. Whatever decision they make, let them they make the decision. Whatever agenda they have, let they put them up their agenda. We have, you want to have the Krishna's agenda, we already know Krishna's agenda. We know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's agenda. Which your agenda? My agenda is a 6 Goswami's agenda. That's my agenda. You tell them.
My agenda is the Prabhupada agenda.
Yeah, I have an agenda too. I have an agenda. What's your agenda? Prabhupada's agenda is my agenda. That's my agenda. What's yours?
Hare Krishna. Yes, but
Okay.
I would like to read the book you were referring to by Mahanidi. What is the title?
Sorry, just a second.
Okay.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, the title of the book you were referring to by Mahanidi.
Sorry. The book is Goranga. I forgot. When I go home, I write you a message with the name of the book and the picture. It's a very important book.
Okay. Yeah,
very rare book.
I would like to read it.
Yes, it's very good. It's for researching. You know, when you have to do something like us, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about bhakti. You go there in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statements about bhakti. Amazing. About deity worship. About the holy name. Anything.
Okay.
Very good. Okay.
Any question? Any question from anybody else? Has anyone else? Okay.
One Prabhu has
Govinda.
question.
Yeah, Govinda Prabhu. Can I ask you a question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. So glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thank you very much for the discussion this morning. This is very, very amazing. It's the first time.
Her name is Nitya Kishore, eternally youthful lady.
Oh, she is amazing.
Okay.
She has so much love for Krishna, and that love is flowing everywhere, and it's so touching and so tasty. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Mata. Thank you. Now I have one quick question. It's kind of a controversial question. You know, the gurus who are in very good standing have a connection with Krishna. And so if they are in good standing and they have connection with Krishna, that means that all their activities are inspired by the Lord. Because so far as my understanding is concerned, I believe that the gurus who are in very good standing, they don't do anything on their own than what Srila Prabhupada will ask them to do, what Krishna will ask them to do. And so a disciple means discipline, and the disciple is supposed to be fully surrendered to the spiritual master. And that is why one need to select a spiritual master that he can surrender. And so apart from the fact that the guru is no more having that connection with Krishna, the guru's orders must be carried out. If the guru is in good standing and he's fully connected, then his orders must be carried out, especially by the disciple. Now, this pandemic that the whole world is experiencing, there's a debate from other, devotees here and there. And if a guru in good standing, has asked me as a disciple not to wear mask, I know the guru is in good standing, so his orders must be followed as a disciple. But I also know, and my common sense tell me, that people are dying, even though we are not the bodies, but the body is not for me. The body is for Krishna and it's meant for his service. So I have that body as a tool to be used for the service of the Lord. And so therefore this body must be protected by all means, And so if I'm asked by my guru not to wear mask, what should I do? Should I follow that instruction not to wear mask and go to places, get myself contaminated and die? Because the guru's orders must be followed. So I would like you to help me this way.
This is not a spiritual instruction. Okay, first of all, and I don't know why any guru would be involved in the mask, no mask controversial. But for your own protection, if I was you, I would ignore the problem. I will not make this a big deal. This is just a Kali trap. This is how I live. We should identify Kali's trap. You understand? This is a trap because Guru should not give these instructions, but somehow he gave some statement, and then you are taking this so seriously. This is a trap. Kali is calling you. Hey, this is very serious. This is bad. This, you should, buy the mask, blah, blah. I don't wear mask. We have different positions, a different understanding about what's happening. You understand? And it has nothing to do with spiritual practice. Nothing to do. We will die with mask or without mask. Prabhupada said that you will not live 1 second more than you are meant to live. The time of death is written. There is no way to be different. For example, somebody can say that Bhakti Charuswami Maharaj, he was in jail. I was in India when he left. He went to America for preaching. He said, I will not stay here. America is suffering. I'm going to America, my duty to preach. He went to America. He got the COVID. He died. This is not something mundane. A virus cannot kill Bhakti Charuswami. It was his time to leave the body. If he was in India or in America or wherever he was, he would leave the body because it was the time for him to leave. You understand? That's our philosophy. We can't deny that. This is our philosophy. If somebody wants to take a vaccine or put a mask, this is not primarily, it's secondary. And this discussion about mask, no mask, vaccine, not vaccine, is Kali's trap to put doubt and what's the name? Conflict between the devotees. Kali rule by creating conflict. This is what Kali does, and doubts. So when you see that happens, be intelligent to understand where Kali is. You understand? I don't mind about that. Mask, no mask. Me, myself, I don't want to take any vaccine. For me, it doesn't value anything. But if I need to travel and take the vaccine for traveling preach, I'm taking the vaccine. And if a vaccine kills me, what can I do? Time for me to leave the world. I really don't care anymore. Don't care. You understand? So we should be intelligent. Oh, I don't want to take the vaccine. Oh, I want to take the vaccine. I think the vaccine will cure me or protect me. I think the mask is not doing anything. Oh, I think the mask will protect me. So it's not relevant. You're very intelligent. You can understand what I'm telling. You can understand. Go deep. What we have to do is, what's important? So many people now need kirtan, need the holy name, need prasada, need books. They're desperate. Anxiety, no money, problems, sickness, people dying. They need a lot of spiritual understanding, spiritual guidance. They are begging for guidance. They are begging for the holy name. So that we should be, how can I say, think about how to help them, how to preach. You understand? With mask, without mask. If you believe mask is protecting you, put the mask. If you think it's not, don't put it. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, it's a personal, individual choice.
Yeah.
Your guru is thinking, oh, mask doesn't value anything. He thought. You think, no, I think mask is protecting me. Put the mask. Not spiritual instruction. Spiritual instruction, yeah. 4
Yeah.
principles, 16 rounds, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana. That's 9 process of devotional service. Focus. That's spiritual life. Rest is only Kali. Kali is doing this job. We should not fall trap of Kali. Never. Be careful with Kali.
Thank you for
Thank you.
your answers. This is
Love
this is
you. I want to go to Africa. I asked Bhakti Damodara Maharaj. He said, come as soon as possible. Come. I want to go. I never asked him if there is COVID, how many COVID is there? I don't care. I go to preach in Africa, and then there I get the COVID, and then I die. Finished. Haribol.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
She's crazy. She went to Nigeria, and there she died. Why she went there? She was living in Mayapur. She's crazy. Who cares?
Nitya Kishore Devi ki jai.
Who cares? I want to go.
uh,
Let me see if there is time for me to go to Africa. I never think how many COVID is there.
Okay.
I think COVID is a little less in most of the African countries, especially like Ghana, Nigeria. COVID
Yeah.
is less there. Yeah, very, very less in Ghana.
Yeah. Not much.
Haribo, I'm
Yeah.
coming. I'm coming.
Hare Krishna.
You've opened one door this morning for me. You've cleared so many things on my mind in connection with material instructions and spiritual instructions.
Exactly.
this is really very important, because you know there are
Yes,
so many administrative issues that sometimes the gurus get involved,
e-
and
exactly.
and um, and they expect that a disciple or devotees must follow those instructions, or you know whatever they are thinking or willing to be done. And if you don't do it, then that is considered guru apparat. So and sometimes my common sense tell me this is not right, like you rightly said.
Not right.
uh, if I'm going
Let
to
me
a
tell you
place.
something. I have to interrupt you. I give you an example that will make you very, very expert in this. Guys, when Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta, please pay attention. What did he say? Go and preach this message in English. And what Prabhupada did? Nothing. He just got married. He was married for 50 years before going to follow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's order. Do you think this is Guru Parad? Let me tell you something. I am mother of 3. And you guys, maybe grihastas, take care of your family nicely. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told Prabhupada, go and preach this message in English. Prabhupada didn't do anything. He went and took care of his family. So you grihasta, you have to pay your bills. You have wife, you have husband to take care, you have kids to take care. This is your duty. So be careful how you manage your life. Something happened, you divorced, your wife is not happy, your kids has no food or studies, and then you go there and tell your guru, I follow your orders, now your orders, now my family, blah, blah. What is this? This is not his responsibility. So take your responsibility and never forget what Prabhupada did. It's true. You can't say, guys, Prabhupada, this is Prabhupada Lamrita. Prabhupada said in Prabhupada Lamrita, I just got married. How can I leave my wife? And please, please. Another example. One lady told Prabhupada, I don't want this kid. I want to worship the deity. Prabhupada said, your kid is your deity. Look at that. Be very careful. Be very careful with your duties. Then I never saw somebody who left their families and had their duties to take care of so-called devotional service because they are thinking that take care of their kids is not devotional service. What's wrong? Completely wrong. All my kids, they are initiated devotees. Please tell me, if this is not devotional service, what is devotional service, for God's sake? One guru of my daughter, Indrajuna Swami. One guru of another daughter, Sachinandana Swami. Another guru of another daughter, Lokanatha Swami. 3 gurus.
Animal.
3 different gurus. They all chant 16 rounds. Please, take care of your kids. Offer them to Krishna by giving them time and love. You have your house, and the temple president has the temple. The temple is his responsibility. Your family is your responsibility. Prabhu, I don't have any pujari. You're temple president. Of course, if you can, you do it.
Yeah.
If you cannot, don't do it. Offer your family to the lotus feet of Prabhupada. Make them devotees. make your life successful, and preach to others how they can be happy with Krishna and Bhagavad Gita and the holy name. You understand? I know people, I'm in ISKCON 30 years. People call me with the same issues. Don't worry, Prabhu. Don't think these issues is yours. These issues is everybody's issues. I am used to listen to these questions and used to give the same answers and helping people to take decisions of their lives. Help them. My duty to help them not to fall in any trap, destroying their lives, and then blame the society, blame the spiritual master. Your life, your responsibility. Don't forget Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta first meeting. Don't forget. Okay? Hope it
Hare
helps.
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Hope
much.
it helps.
Thank you, sure.
This word is a mess. It's a mess.
That is both thunderbolt and rose. It's soft and tough at the same time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
And
you.
thanks to you. Hare
yes.
Krishna.
Hare
Obrigado,
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, Jai, it's quite late at your end there,
Yes,
so
it's
I
late
think,
for me.
yeah, we'll bring the class to an end. So, Hare Krishna devotees will ask all devotees to unmute, and then we chant Big Hare Krishna. And Mother, I'm sorry for holding you up. I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. Okay, Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama. Hare Hare.
all
Jai.
glories to her grace, Nitya Kishore Devi ki Jai.
Jai.
Oh,
Hare
gosto, Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Ki
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you.
Jai,
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhupada.
Thank you.
Haribo.
Jai.
Haribo.
Thank you, Prabhu. Haribo.
Thank you.
Haribo.
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 Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo. So we'll meet again tomorrow by Krishna's grace. Hare Krishna.